recording as well. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so welcome to today's session on Soul Conversation series, Discovering the Real You, presented by the team of Wisdom of Arhat. Well, I see a few familiar faces and name here, but those who don't know me, my name is Shreya and I am a pranic healer based in Dubai currently. Before any further delay, I would like to present you one of my favorite mentors, Neha Jain, who will be taking the session tonight. I'd like to request Neha to guide us through a invocation prayer.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the team of Wisdom of the Arhat and the entire team, especially the ones who are heading it. I'm not aware of the entire team, but everyone who is there, part of it. Thank you very much for organizing this, and thank you very much for bringing all of us together. And I hope that this next 1 hour is going to be a soulful journey. May it help each one of us to get some answers, maybe something that we are seeking for. So before we start, let's relax and let's do an invocation. Let's invoke for the divine blessings. I request everyone to please keep your spine straight. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Normalize your breathing. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Inhale peace, exhale any kind of stress. You mentally say, I release all the stress within me. I let go. Inhale peace, exhale any kind of anger and irritation. You mentally say, I release the anger within me, the irritation within me. I let go. Feel the peace within. To the Supreme God, to Master Choa Koksui, to Lord Mahaguruji Meling, to all the great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, to my higher soul, my divine self, to all the beings of light, to the angels of technology, to all the invisible helpers, we humbly invoke for your presence in this session. We humbly invoke for your divine guidance, divine help, and divine protection. In full faith, we thank you. May we all be blessed with divine light, divine love, and divine power. May we all be blessed with a greater connection to our higher souls. In full faith and with deep gratitude, we thank you. Gently open your eyes. Those who are pranic healers and those who know the meaning of Atma Namaste, to all of you, Atma Namaste, to everyone, Atma Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, ma'am, for guiding us through this invocation. So, those who are new, I would like to share an introduction about Neha. Neha Jain is a pranic healing instructor since the last 19 years and a certified pranic healer. Based in Kolkata, she is actively spreading pranic healing teachings across many cities in India and in Nepal. She's married, a mother of three, and an entrepreneur and YouTuber, and has been a speaker on various esteemed platforms like TEDx, NASCOM, Toastmaster, to name a few. She is known for her dynamism and delivering the teachings with practicality and enthusiasm. So, welcome again, Neha ma'am. Thank you so much, and all the participants as well for joining here today. Ma'am, if you'd like to add a few words, and then we can start with the questions.
Yes, thank you, Shreya. Thank you for inviting everyone. And I'm looking forward for this discussion. Yes, so let's begin.
Okay, so how can you, if I ask in layman terms, what is a soul?
So if we see, especially in our culture, in our country, like in India, since childhood, we have been listening or we have heard this term that yes, we are souls, and or the other term that we use is atma. So it's a very common thing that we are souls, but we are not the body. But what I feel is, thanks to Master Choakoksui's teachings, what we know about this is very theoretical by nature. So sometimes we wonder that, oh, yes, many people will say yes, I have a soul, but there is a huge difference between I have a soul versus I am the soul. So this body, so there is something called, as we say, the body, mind, and soul. So we think that these are three different things, but actually we are the souls, and we have a body, we have a mind. The body, the mind, our thoughts, our emotions, they are like our devices, or they are like our products. Now, the relationship between the soul and this body is almost like the relationship that we the bodies, we have with our phone, or maybe our laptop, or maybe our car, or maybe our homes. So, these are the various devices that we use in our day to day life. So, one understanding is yes, we are the soul, so we are almost like the boss of this body. But unfortunately, because we forget that I am the boss, what will the body do? So, to all the people out here, you might be the boss of your office, or you might be like the boss of your home. But just think for a moment that if you forget that you are the boss of your office, or you are the boss of your home, what will happen to your office? You can type it on the chat box. What do you think will happen? Like suppose for maybe a week or 10 days or 15 days, you have forgotten that you are the boss. You are the one who is in charge. What will happen to your offices? Our offices will run in chaos, or anybody else or people around will think that they are the boss. The employees will think as if they are the boss. The people around will think that they are the boss. Now, here, the mistake is not really of the people around, but the actual mistake is of the boss who has forgotten that I am the boss. So, this is just a simple analogy where we forget that I am the boss of this body. Now, because of which the body thinks that I am the boss, and the soul actually becomes like a slave to the body. And the soul actually starts serving the body. In fact, it needs to be the reverse, where the body needs to serve the soul.
So, how can we identify ourselves as a soul? Like we know that, as you have made us understood, that we are not operating in the soul consciousness. We are identifying with other things like emotions and thoughts. But how do we identify as a soul?
So there are few things that we can get started with, like few tips that we get started with. And that's what we learn in the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul course. So the first level of understanding is that first, at least, let's start understanding this on a theoretical level. Like one way of understanding is that first, theoretically, we understand, okay, I am not the body, but I am the soul. Now, this is just from my experience and from my limited understanding, that one way that we can live life like a soul is first by getting this understanding in our head that I am the soul and I am the boss of this body. Now, from the body, the next thing that we move on to are thoughts and emotions. So, first step is to just make sure that our body, our thoughts, and our emotions, they don't take over us. It's like we will have negative thoughts, we will have negative emotions. But by realizing or just by reminding ourselves that I am the soul, the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, and the desires of the body, it will not take over the soul. It will be there. The thoughts, the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, the positive thoughts, the positive emotions, everything will exist. But the first step is to realize that it is all there, but I am the boss. It cannot take over us. And we should not allow it to take over us. Just by constantly reminding ourselves that I am the soul, I am not this thought. Now, let me start with a small example. Say, for example,
એને કેજે માપ લઈ લે या फर्स्ट येलो पेज લઈ લે
say
Just
for,
a second. Yeah, please continue. Mute everyone.
so say for example, many times we decided, suppose you decided that I will wake up at 6 in the morning and meditate, or I'll wake up at 6 in the morning and exercise, or maybe go for a walk, or something you decided. So normally what we do, we put up an alarm. It's okay, I will wake up at 6 in the morning and do something, maybe exercise or meditation or whatever you wish to do. Now, question for all of you, just think for a moment. When that alarm rings, what happens? So, suppose it is difficult for you to wake up at 6, for example. And when that alarm rings at 6 o'clock, what happens? At that moment, you will notice there are two voices in our head. One voice will tell you, wake up. Another voice will tell you, hey, let me sleep. And you will notice throughout the day and in various aspects of our life, constantly there are two voices juggling in our head. Sometimes there are multiple voices also. But in all these voices, there is one voice that is the voice of the soul. As we start becoming more and more aware that I am the soul, we will start listening to this voice better. And that is where, the soul class, the techniques that we learn in the soul class, especially the meditations that we learn in the soul class, the affirmations that we learn in the soul class, they actually help us to identify ourselves as a soul. So the more we start identifying ourselves as a soul and not letting the body, the negative thoughts, or the negative emotions take over the soul, we will start practicing more and more soul consciousness, at least with ourselves, to start with, at least with ourselves.
So, just a question. This also happened with me that I'm not able to wake up early. I put my alarm every other morning. So, those who know the soul affirmation, can they do it at that moment, or any other practical tips to wake up early?
Yeah, in fact,
If
this
you
has been my personal experience also, Shreya. So when I did the soul class for the first time, I think first or second time, I don't know, it has been my favorite class. I've reviewed it at least 15 to 20 times until I became an instructor. So in the morning, I used to find it difficult, and then in the class, I realized. So that is the time when we had this new feature in the smartphones where you could have customized alarms. And even now, sometimes I put it, and my alarm, my phone would flash. I am not the body. I am the soul. Body, wake up. And I'd put it as a reminder. So I would just affirm it 3 to 4 times that I am not the body, I am the soul. Body, wake up. I am not the body, I am the soul. Body, wake up. I am not the body, I am the soul. Body, wake up. And guess what? I used to be out of the bed in another, like in a few moments. And then I thought, oh, it was so easy to wake up. Why was I struggling so many days or so many years? So the good part about this is that the moment, it sounds very simple. It sounds very simple, but it's extremely powerful. In difficult moments, if you keep reminding yourself that I am not this, but I am the soul. It's like suppose anger is taking over you, and you remind yourself that I am not this anger, because the soul doesn't get angry. It's just a thought or an emotion. So if you just keep repeating in your mind that I am not this anger, I am the soul. I am not this anger, I am the soul. I'm not this thought, I'm not this emotion, I am the soul. So this just these four statements which master teaches in the first part of the class, these little statements, these just four statements can help us to bring in that awareness of not letting the negative thoughts, negative emotions take over the soul. So it's like, like this is my chair, and suppose it is the chair of the boss. So every time I say I am the soul, it's like you're holding on to your position, you're holding on to your chair, you're holding on to the role that you're playing, and then you're still observing your thoughts, you're still observing your emotions, but you're not letting those thoughts, those emotions, or your body to take over the soul. So one tip I would like to share with all of you, and if you like, you can note it down, you could try this out. Just note down any one emotion which keeps taking over you. Like it could be fear, it could be anger, it could be irritation, it could be stress, it could be anything. And you could try this as an experiment. Just note it down. What is the emotion that bothers you and kind of takes over you? Say, for example, you have noted down stress. Now, as an experiment, what you can do or you can try to do is next time you get stressed, you just repeat, I am the soul, I am not this stress. I am the soul, I am not this thought, I am not this emotion, I am not this stress, I am not the body, I am the soul. So every time we remind ourselves that I am the soul, I am not this, you're not letting that stress take over you, the soul. And the moment we remind ourselves that I am the soul, it ignites the soul power in us, and it gives us the ability to overcome that negative thought, to overcome that negative emotion, or to take charge of our body. So this is just a small tip for everyone. If you like, you can try it out. You just mention anytime this negative emotion takes over you, you remind yourself, I am the soul. Of course, when you do the Achieving Oneness with the High Soul class, you learn many more techniques and way better techniques. I mean, this is just more of an open for all session, but that is what this whole class is about. And it is an extremely practical class where you can actually, in our day-to-day life, in spite of running our businesses, in spite of having our families, how to live life like a soul is what we learn in these courses.
Truly said, whenever we do this, Master has given us many teachings and techniques. It's on us on how we can put it into practice into daily to daily life. And I have also experienced this. Obviously, I'm in a work in progress, but whenever I do this soul affirmation, I am relatively calmer. So, yes, everyone who is new to this session, kindly note the thing that Neha Jain has introduced us. Okay. So, yes.
So the thing is, the good part about these statements, it's not that we will be able to change the world outside, but the way we see it, the way we have control over different situations around us, that power within us is there. And these courses, these meditations, they ignited it within us. Yeah.
So, my next, okay, so I am getting some questions on my chat box. I would like to tell everyone that we have allotted time after this session, and you can ask your questions. You can put it in my chat box, and I'll ask Neha ma'am. Okay. So, the next question that I'd ask is what prevents us from identifying with the soul?
So basically, what prevents us is okay. So it's like this. Now, what happens is, I'll just give you an example. So, say for example, Shreya, you want to, suppose you asked your staff, maybe your domestic staff, you told your staff to go and get you a packet of bread. Okay? Suppose you tell your staff to get me a packet of bread. Now, will you just give him just tell him, go get me a packet of bread? What else will you do?
I'll give more details on what kind of bread I want, which company.
Correct. And you will give all the details in a language or in a way which that staff will understand.
Yes.
Right? So if the staff understands in Hindi, maybe you will write down all the instructions in Hindi, and understands verbally, you will explain everything. And suppose you gave your staff maybe 100 rupees and you said, oh, get me a packet of bread from this shop of this brand. You check the expiry date, you do these things, and then you will prepare that person with everything as per that person's mental understanding, physical understanding, and you will also give resources on the physical level, and you will say, go get me a packet of bread. Right? Now, say for example, this staff took money from you, and halfway through, he forgot that, oh, he's looking at the money that he has, and he's like, oh, I have 100 rupees, and I was supposed to do something, but what am I supposed to do? He forgot. Now, what will your staff do? Suppose halfway through he forgot.
Maybe he will call me again and ask.
Correct. Logically, what will he do? He will give you a phone call that, ma'am, मुझे क्या करना था? मुझे फिर से बताइए. What do I need to do? Because he knows that you are the boss and you have given an instruction, but he has forgotten. Similarly, there is someone called as the higher soul. We are like portions of the higher soul. This is explained in detail in the class. I cannot reveal everything here. But just for the curiosity. So it's like we have the higher soul, and we are like a portion of higher soul, and the higher soul has sent us down with a plan, with a purpose, with a target, and has prepared us in every way possible so that we can go down on earth and fulfill the purpose. But what happens is, when we come down on earth, we start identifying ourselves with the body because we can see the body, but we don't see the soul. We forget that we are the soul. Now, if we identify ourselves with the body, we become busy with certain things around, we become busy in life, and every time a particular responsibility is done or a particular task is done, we start feeling that void. And we start wondering, what is the purpose of my life? What am I here for? Why do I have a family? Why do I have a husband? Why do I have a wife? Why do I have children? Why am I running around and earning money? These questions trigger us. Again, sometimes we become busy with our physical level activities, duties, responsibilities. We look at other people. But every time we get a pause, this question starts haunting us as to what am I here for? And whenever such type of questions, they trigger in our consciousness, naturally the universe gives us access to such classes, to such teachings. I'm not saying it is just in pranic healing. It is there in many, many cultures, many, many spiritual schools. There are many spiritual schools, there are many spiritual teachers. So the moment we ask, okay, what is my purpose? The higher soul will somehow create a situation where we can learn how to connect to the higher soul. It's like Shreya said that because my staff has forgotten, the staff will have to give me a call. Similarly, we need to dial a call to the higher soul to remind us as to what is the purpose of my life. What am I doing here? What is the purpose of the relationships I have around? What is the purpose of the challenges that I'm seeing around? What is the purpose of the tests I'm going through? All these answers are with the higher soul and with us also, the incarnated soul. But how to dial that call and how to connect with the higher soul is exactly what you learn in the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul class. In fact, in this class, you learn about 6 techniques which can help you to connect with the higher soul. But somewhere we all know, and that is why I'm sure most of us go through certain phases in life where we feel purposeless. Or even if we are very, very successful, even if you get success, many people after getting success, they feel a void because now they don't know what to do next. or they don't know what is the purpose of my life, what I need to do for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. And a purposeful life also, by the way, doesn't mean that we just do something mega or do something great. To me personally, I feel a purposeful life is to sense and to realize that whatever is that is happening around us, it is not a coincidence. Like, for example, right now, we are all together on this screen, and it is possible that many other people will also connect us on the screen. There is a purpose. Nothing is a coincidence. There is a reason, there is a purpose, and we need to get ourselves trained on how to identify the purpose of the various things that are happening around us. The good things, the bad things, the sour things, the bitter things, the happy things. Like sometimes something happens to us very, very out of the box, but very, very positive. We just say, oh, it is just good luck. No, it is not. It is good luck, yes, but there is a purpose behind it. Similarly, the challenges that we go through, there is a purpose behind those challenges. And when we start identifying that, our life, I personally feel, will become extremely purposeful. And these are very precious teachings which will actually teach us on how to connect with the higher soul, how to unite with the higher soul, how to communicate with the higher soul. So in the class, first we are introduced to who the higher soul is. And then we are taught techniques on how to connect. So to give an analogy, the higher soul is like a Wi-Fi, but we don't have, probably we don't have a password. So how to, that password is kind of given to us in this class especially. Yes.
Thank you for your way of teaching is so simple that anyone can understand. Thank you so much. The next question would be like, I'm sure many of us has heard about the term oneness. So how can we achieve greater oneness with the soul or with the higher soul?
So for achieving oneness, there are various ways. One of the main techniques or the ways that we learn in pranic healing, especially in these courses, one of the ways is by learning how to meditate. So the first thing that we learn in pranic healing school is the twin hearts meditation. So, it's the first thing is that we learn how to unite with the higher soul. For that, we need to have some amount of mental stillness. We need to connect to our soul. So one of the techniques is, of course, the powerful meditations that are taught in pranic healing.
Okay, the next question I'd like to ask is, are there any spiritual laws associated with the soul consciousness?
So there are spiritual laws, yes. Now, one of the main law in which humanity functions or human beings are functioning is the law of karma.
Hmm.
Also, in Master Choa's Basic Pranic Healing book, Master talks about law of forgiveness, law of mercy, and he also talks about the law of karma. Law of karma is something we will see, we will read, we will learn across many religions and cultures. We get to know about the law of karma. Now, the thing is, when we use the word law, so it basically means that it is not changeable, and these laws are made by God, by universe, and we all need to follow that. We all need to follow that. Now, sometimes we take law of karma as, oh, something negative happening to me is bad karma. I might have done something bad. Or sometimes we say, oh, something positive is happening to me. Oh, it's good karma. I might have done something good. Full stop. But actually, the law of karma is like a teacher. The law of karma is there to teach us certain lessons. And when we learn the lessons, the karma, the negative karma especially, it gets negated. It gets neutralized. Now, how this whole thing happens, what is the role of forgiveness, what is the role of mercy, what is the role of law of karma, and how can we actually neutralize the negative karma that we might have generated in the past incarnations? This in detail is definitely discussed in the class. Not that I can share all the techniques here, but yes, I personally feel this is one of the fantastic learnings that we get in the Achievement with a High Soul course, is a better and a more practical understanding, especially about the law of karma. Like before coming into pranic healing, all I knew about the law of karma was what you sow is what you reap. But as we dive deeper into the pranic healing system, we get to know that the law of karma is not just about the actions. It's not like if I do good to someone in my deeds, I will get good back. Yes, that is important. But what about the thoughts that we are transferring in people? The emotions that we are transferring in people? So, say for example, if I am doing a good deed, like I'm helping someone with some resources, maybe I'm taking someone for a medical treatment, I'm taking them to the hospital, giving them medicines, I'm helping a family member with all of this. So, on the physical level, I will generate good karma. But what if when I'm taking this person to the hospital, when I'm taking this person for medical treatments, or maybe I'm giving this person medicines, but internally I am constantly complaining, I am cribbing, oh my god, where am I stuck, why do I have to do this every day, why is this happening to me, when will this get over, when will this whole mess get over? But externally we're doing it with a smile, but internally we are complaining, we are cribbing, sometimes we are getting angry, we are getting irritable. So the amazing teachings of Master Cha is where he makes us realize that it is not just the karma, that is that the deeds that we are doing, but it is also karma starts from our thought level. What kind of thoughts are we creating? What kind of emotions are we creating? And according to the law of karma, if we are constantly creating negative thoughts, if we are constantly creating negative emotions, that will generate negative karma, even if we are doing positive deeds. So physically, maybe you're doing something good, you will get something good back. But if you're planting seeds of anger, planting seeds of frustration, planting seeds of negative emotions and thoughts, that karma will also come back to us. That will also revert to us. So maybe a little more awareness, especially on our thoughts, a little more awareness, especially on our emotions, realizing that if we are constantly, say, for example, mentally criticizing someone, or mentally we are giving anger to someone, mentally we are cribbing about someone, but verbally we are polite, verbally we are courteous, verbally we are kind. This is exactly the situation where many people come to us and they say that I'm doing so much, I talk politely to this person, I also take care of this person, but how come my relationship with this person is not improving? Guess what? You're talking politely, you're doing polite actions, you're doing courteous acts, but maybe our thoughts and emotions are not purified yet. Maybe our thoughts and emotions are not loving yet. And that is why we get stuck in a loop, in a karmic loop with people around us. And there's this beautiful quote by Master Chua where he says that anger and hatred binds souls. So internally, if we project anger to someone, internally, if we keep projecting hatred to someone, and externally, even if we are smiling, even if we are generous, even if we are polite, we will still be karmically entangled with that person. So the spiritual law, especially the law of karma, it is not just on the physical level, it is also functioning on emotional level, it is also functioning on mental level.
Okay, so as we have come into the word lessons, so in life, generally, whenever something happen, any kind of challenges we come across, हम यही बोलते हैं कि हे भगवान हमारे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है ये?
Yes.
So maybe we can try to ask what we can learn in this situation. So is there any way that we can share any technique in which people can, learn their lesson?
Uh, that is quite a deep topic, I would say. But yes, to start with, because learning lesson is one of the key things for our spiritual growth, for our spiritual growth. But yes, I would like to highlight that the behavior of ordinary souls will always blame others. So ordinary souls or young souls, if anything
Hmm.
wrong happens to them, the first thing they will say, oh, because of this person, my life is a mess. Because of this person, this is happening to me. Because of that person, this is happening to me. Now, initially, the ordinary souls, they will blame other people that because of them, this is happening to me. Then they will blame their family. Sometimes they will blame their parents. That because of my mother, this is happening to me. Because of my father, this is happening to me. Because of my grandfather, this is happening to me.
Hmm.
And they don't just stop there. After a while, they start blaming God. God, why are you doing this to me? Come on, God is not our enemy. And some people, they start fearing God that, oh God, please don't do this to me. You did it to that person. I will give you this much money. I will put this in the temple. I will do, in Hindi we call it chadawa. We will go and chadao this and do that and then, and God, please don't do this. So that we are actually God fearing. We need to understand we are like children of God. And we definitely don't need to butter God. But yes, one thing, because you're asking for tips, one thing if you would like to take away from this talk and start your spiritual journey, at least that is how it started with me. Not that I was not like this. Even I would do that. Anything goes wrong, blame somebody else. Something goes wrong in business, blame the business partner. Or something goes wrong in the business, you blame the business only. We say, no, market kharab hai, hamara city kharab hai, mera partner kharab hai, ye kharab hai, wo kharab hai. And then you feel, okay, I am right. The world is wrong. Guess what will happen? The same problem will repeat again and again and again. And then we will say, I am jinxed. मेरे साथ तो ऐसा ही होता रहता है. This keeps happening to me over and over and over and over again. Now we need to break this pattern. To break this pattern of similar problems happening again and again and again and again, of course, the soul class will help you. But to get started with is, let's stop blaming others. Because if something good has to happen to you, nobody can stop it. Nobody can steal our karmas. People can steal many things. People can steal our credit. People can steal our money. People can steal our things. But nobody can steal karma from your bank account. So our journey, our spiritual journey, can be very, very enriching if we start with this simple understanding that I will not blame others. Taking responsibility. So take the blame also on your shoulder. At the same time, take the credit also on your shoulder. Like if you have good set of parents, you got good education, if you were born in a good family, you can take that credit, you can pat your back, tell yourself, good job done, you generated good karma, that is why you attracted a good family, you generated good karma, that is why you attracted good parents. But at the same time, some lessons are to be learned, some negative karma is generated, and there are some gray areas. So the credit is also on our shoulder, the blame is also on our shoulder. So
Great.
I
Thank you.
feel one of the most amazing part of this spiritual journey with Master Chua Koksui and in his school is the understanding on how to break negative patterns. And on a personal note, this exactly is what motivated me to inspired me to become an instructor of this class, because we can spread this message far and wide that if something negative is happening to us over and over again, we can change it. We don't need to wait for another incarnation. And guess what? If you don't learn your lesson, it is going to continue even in the next incarnation. It is not going to stop. So many people pray, oh God, I don't have a good mother-in-law. Next incarnation, give me a good mother-in-law. Guess what? You don't learn your lesson, you're going to get the same one. Or maybe even tougher. You pray to God, God, इस जन्म में तो इस husband को संभाल लिया, next जन्म में थोड़ा अच्छा product देना. It is not going to work for that. So people think that इस जन्म में हम भुगत लेंगे, and in the next incarnation सब अच्छा हो जाएगा. Next incarnation, by the way, is not a new bank account. It is not a new karmic bank account. It is the same karmic bank account. In fact, whatever is going to be the closing balance of this incarnation is going to be like an opening balance of the next incarnation. So spiritually, the soul doesn't die. It's just the body that dies. And it is like how you change your phone. We change our phone, we change from one device to another device. So you will notice whenever you buy a new phone, your contact list is the same, your apps are the same, everything is the same. Just based on your purpose and your budget, you get a new device. That's it. Similarly, just based on the purpose of our life, based on the karmic budget that we have, we get a new device, which is our body. But the rest of the things, our karmic bank account, it remains the same. So, new life doesn't mean a new soul starting from scratch. New life is actually just a new body. So, on the positive side, whatever development we have done in this incarnation will also be carried forward with us in the next incarnation. Say, for example, if of course, Shreya, maybe I hope you're not, but say, for example, Shreya, suppose you were a very short tempered person earlier. And with the help of pranic healing tools, pranic healing techniques, pranic healing meditations, you tried to overcome the negative quality of anger within. Now, this good quality trait which you have developed within you, this negativity which you have purified yourself of, this development will be carried forward with you even in the next incarnation. So our skills also get carried forward, our talents also get carried forward. All the development that we have done on our thoughts, on our emotions, on our character, all that also gets carried forward. And that is why we need to invest more time and more energy in working on these things, because this is going to be our true spiritual wealth, which we will carry forward from this incarnation to next incarnation to next incarnation.
Well, your intuition is spot on. The example that you gave, I was like that. Yeah. I would also like to ask how doing AOHS has changed your life.
I think that's a tough one, because so many things and so many learnings. But
Just to name a few.
to start with, I think to start with what I just recently shared, my first learning, and which has been extremely life transforming for me, is getting out of this behavior or the thought process of blaming other people. And I understood the true meaning of forgiveness only because of the soul class. I'm not saying forgiveness is easy, and I'm not saying I've mastered it yet. I am still work in progress, and I still face challenges. But because of this class, I know that whenever a challenge comes, whenever a test comes, I would, at least I have the strength where I will just close my eyes, I will connect to my higher soul, and I will ask my own inner self that what seeds have I sown? And that gives me a lot of empowerment inside, that if I have the power to put myself in trouble, I also have the power to get myself out of it if I learn the lesson. So, that whole feeling of being helpless, क्योंकि मेरे स्टार्स खराब हैं, मेरा एस्ट्रोलॉजी खराब है, मैं एक गलत घर में पैदा हो गई. So many souls are stuck, and we feel bad that so many souls, because of lack of knowledge, are stuck in this, and they feel so helpless. So I think one of the biggest thing is, I feel, the whole attitude of not blaming others and feeling empowered that if I want to change something, I have the inner power and the soul power to change it. If I want something, I can sow that seeds and I can get it. Like if I want more prosperity, at least you have answers of how you can get more prosperity. If I want to manifest better relationships, in the class you get solutions of how you can do and what you can do. The path is shown to you. And then, of course, all the people who have done the class, when they walk on that path, they do see miracles happening. The relationships change overnight. The business scenarios change overnight, simply because we learn our lessons. So yes, I would say, in this whole attitude, which was not, this maturity was not there, this spiritual maturity was not there in me, and I would very easily blame other people for anything that goes wrong in my life. And that is why it would become very difficult to forgive them. So after pranic healing, especially after the soul class, anything happens, so the first wiring in the mind is, let me forgive this person. This person is just an instrument. Had this not happened through this person, the same thing would have happened to me, maybe through somebody else. But it is me who has sown the seed. Now, where have I sown the seed? That is my question paper. That is my spiritual test. So this makes me feel very powerful inside. This makes me feel that, yes, you don't feel helpless. And you feel bad for many souls out there who feel so helpless. You feel that you're stuck and you cannot change life. You cannot change situations. So achieving oneness with the higher soul course, I think it opens up this huge window or this huge path to realizing our true power.
Well, this course also has made me empowered in a way. I would like to share one of the deep realization that I had after doing the course. So generally in life, कभी भी कुछ decision लेना होता है या फिर we face challenges, the normal way is to ask people their opinions. So that thing have changed now when I understood the concept of incarnated soul and the higher soul. So whenever there is an issue, I try to meditate and get the solution from my higher soul. Because I now know that whatever I get the intuition, that will be the best. But if I take opinion and do it, take my decision, फिर बाद में मैं उनको ही blame कर रही थी. And I used to go in a, victim mode.
Yes,
So
yeah, that's what, it's very easy for people to get into that victim mode, and why me. And then many of us, we have these our 3-4 buddies whom we will call up, and they will also say, हाँ तुम्हारे साथ बहुत बुरा हुआ. And we get into that zone where as a soul we are extremely helpless.
well, thank you so much. This session has been wonderful. Now, I'd like to ask all the participants, if you have any questions, please drop in my chat. I'll ask ma'am. One of the questions that came is, I want to ask that we can heal our minds by controlling it, but to do when you are not well physically, how do you manage that?
How do you manage? You mean to say, is the question on how
Yeah.
manage
So,
heal the body? Sorry, I didn't understand.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, let me repeat again. I'm not also sure that.
Maybe you can request the person to rephrase the
Yes, please repeat the question. Okay.
So just a small
Soul.
caveat here. Shreya,
Yes,
sorry.
please.
Participants are allowed to ask questions if you can, switch on your camera and raise your hand in the, using that Zoom option. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So one of the questions that came through Nancy, soul don't have five senses and no memory, of course. Then how it decides what to do on its own at first place? How it carry on with the learned, as it cannot sense after this body goes? Why people say the departed soul will suffer if you cry?
Okay. So I think there are 2-3 questions mixed in that one question. First of all,
Yes.
the understanding that the soul doesn't have senses is partially incorrect. The soul has many powers, and in fact, the soul has many other senses that we are not completely aware of. So the soul is way more sensitive and has many other senses apart from the 5 senses that we talk about, or the senses of the physical body. Now, another question is, why is it said that we should not cry when somebody departs? Now, the reason why people say this, and why we also believe in it, is simply because what is dying is the body, not the soul. And from the soul's point of view, it is almost like the soul leaving the body is like the liberation for the soul. And the soul will then merge with the higher soul and will come back again. So, but when we are very attached to the body, then we don't want to leave the body. So, in the future, when souls will become very, very evolved, death will be a celebration because it liberates the soul. It's like, your child goes to school and then your child comes back home. Do you cry when your child comes back home? No, you feel happy. Similarly, the true home of the soul is above with the higher soul. We come on earth, it is like a school. We come down here to learn our lessons, to pass the test, and then we go back up. So when we are going back up, it is almost like we going back home. So spiritually, it is considered as a celebration. Spiritually, it is also considered as a liberation. So we go back home. But yes, we have to come back down again to learn our lessons, to pass the tests, to overcome certain karmas.
Can you also please share what can a new person can learn in the Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul course?
So this course, just to give the highlights, so the course first starts by understanding who am I. That is the first part of the class, where there is a whole long topic on an understanding of who we truly are. And in that section, it is also explained what are thoughts, what is mind, what is the body, what is the soul, and what is the relationship between all of this. This is what is taught in the first section. Who is God? What do you mean by God? What do you mean by Supreme God? So there's a discussion on this. Then another highlight of the class is, okay, first we understood that I am the soul. But our second problem is how to look at other people as souls, especially when we see faults in them, or how to look at other people as souls, especially when they are hurting us. Suppose there is somebody who is insulting us, somebody who is torturing us, or somebody who is treating us badly. What should be my attitude? How do I need to handle this? What is the lesson for me to learn? How to face these situations? Why do we attract certain nasty people in our life? Versus why do we also attract certain positive people, happy people, good people in our life? Why do we attract certain difficult business situations? So, the soul class gives answers to various such questions as to why are certain things manifesting in my life and why are certain things not manifesting in somebody else's life? Why somebody born in a rich family versus why somebody born in a poor family? So there are many questions like this which play in our mind. And we also realize that it is not a lucky draw where God is just giving us lives just like that. It is not fixed. It is based on various laws. It is based on certain proper systems, certain proper structures, and there is a system that is followed. And we get introduced to all of this in the soul class. And of course, this class also teaches us two powerful meditations. One meditation is designed especially to connect with our higher soul. And in this class, we also get to know about what is Kundalini energy. I'm not going to talk about it much here, but this is a very special quality of energy and what it is all about. We get to know that. And another biggest takeaway, at least for me, and the best part of the class, which I like, is it helps us and gives us lot of tips on how to make ourselves a better person. From many standards, we are good people. But if I want to grow or I want to become a better person, we need a curriculum. We need to know what behaviors are good behaviors, what kind of thoughts are good thoughts, and what kind of thoughts are bad thoughts or negative thoughts. What is generating the karma of stealing? What is generating the karma of fooling someone? So the soul class, if you want to raise your bar as a human being from where you are, if you want to become a better person, you get kind of a curriculum on what are the do's, what are the don'ts, how can we refine ourselves, and how can we increase our spiritual connection simply by becoming a better person.
Thank you. One question that came in is how we have a way where we face physical difficulty. How do we manage that? And in the same question that is continued, if someone is suffering from cancer or other physical ailment, how to face it or how to manage?
So the thing is, according to the law of karma and what we have learned from especially this workshop, where Master says that whatever you want, you sow that seed. Say, for example, if I want a mango, I need to sow a seed of a mango. If I want a papaya, I need to sow a seed of a papaya. Similarly, if I want the fruit of good health, then we need to generate karma of giving good health to other people. Now, how can we do that? We can do that by donating, by doing charities, especially for health related organizations, maybe in an NGO who takes care of health of other people. So you can do certain acts and sow the seed, especially connected to good health, if you want the fruit of good health. Of course, this is discussed at length and in depth during the class. But to give you a logic is, if I want a particular fruit, I need to sow the seed. Like suppose I want good health, but I'm sowing the seed of giving good education to people. So if you are sowing the seed of good education, giving education to people, you will have the fruit of becoming more intelligent. So whatever fruit you want, you can actually choose to sow that seed.
So, if I can add something in this, so I guess if you're new to pranic healing, we would obviously suggest you to learn basic pranic healing, where you learn how to heal other people. So, if you or your family member is suffering from cancer, pranic healing techniques are the best way one you can support. Apart from this, as Neha ma'am has mentioned, you can also do twin heart meditation and bless other people. Do we have any more questions? Please raise your hand using the Zoom option if you have any questions. All right. So I guess we are done with this. Ma'am, if you'd like to say last few words and also guide us through an closing invocation prayer.
Sure. First of all, I would like to address that please don't call me ma'am. Please address me as Neha. I will feel younger. Okay. So, by the way, the teacher is just one, that is Grandmaster Chorpoksui. And let us thank him for whatever understanding we have got, for the amazing teachings that we have got. And I would like to welcome all of you to experience it. You just figure out in your city if you have access to this workshop, and it can be one of the best investments that you can do for the growth of you, the soul. Okay. So with this, I would like to thank Sudeep Shreya, and entire team of Wisdom of Arhat. Thank you very much. And at the end,
Neha, sorry to interrupt. I think Sejal had a question. Sejal, we
She
have one
just
participant.
raised, she just raised her hand.
We would request you to please switch on your camera, Sejal, for the purpose of asking question. That's mandatory. Yes. You would want to unmute as well. Thank you.
Yes, Atma Namaste, ma'am. I'm a Arhatic practitioner. But just I want to know ki how we can take our children into the pranic healing or any of the meditation or anything. And they are not believing in it. So how do we, मतलब what, क्या कर सकते हैं उन लोगों को इसमें लाने के लिए?
what I would recommend is, we don't try to force it too much. But what you can get started with is, you can bless your children. Bless your children with spirituality, with mental clarity, with light, love, power. so that they achieve their purpose of life. And then slowly you motivate them. Children can start as early as the age of 10. They can start with 2.5 hours meditation at least once a week. And then gradually, if they like, they can do more frequently. But yes, you don't need to push anyone, but you can definitely bless everyone. All
Thank
right,
you.
so let's close with a prayer. And thank you once again. I request all of you to just keep your spine straight, smile, relax. To the Supreme God, to Master Choa Kok Sui, to all the great, great ones, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your guidance, your help, and protection. To all the great, great ones, to all the invisible helpers, to my high soul, my divine self, we thank you. Gently open your eyes.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you, everyone.
Atma Namaste.
Thank you, everyone. We will be uploading this on YouTube and sharing the link. Special thank again to Shreya for hosting this and Neha for taking out time. Thank you and please take care. Have a great day. Atma Namaste.